In just a few chapters, what we're going to find is that the beginning of the Exodus story that starts with the parting of the Red Sea, the new chapter begins with the parting or the backing up of the Jordan. And the people of God walk across on dry land into the promised land. But it takes us some time to get there. It isn't immediate. This passage feels like, go and get ready. This is the time. This is what's happening. But there is this, be strong and courageous. Put the law on your lips and meditate on it daily. Prepare yourself. Consecrate your hearts. Prepare yourself for what God might do. I'm going to give away half of the sermon series right now. Most of the book of Joshua is about a people group that is faithful enough to say, yes, wherever you go, I will follow. And the other part of it is the tension between following God and obeying, and sometimes disobeying. We will find that there will be some that will trust God enough to fight the battles, but when the battle is won, they will take the spoils for themselves. We will find that there will be preparation, but the most of the book of Joshua is not about what Joshua does or what the people of God do, but it is about the power and authority of God. After all, Joshua, plus all of these millions of people sitting on the other side of the Jordan, have only known the desert, have only known the wandering. They did not know Egypt. They've only known a God who provided for them daily with manna, provided water and meat, who led them and protected them. They have seen battles and pains and sorrows, but throughout it all, God led them visibly in front. If we remember, there was a pillar of fire by day, or fire by night and smoke by day. It told them where to go and where to wander, where to camp. God told Moses and the Levites how to build a community that is surrounded by the presence of God. So on that front, they are prepared. They know what it means to be in want. They know what it means to suffer. They know what it means to trust God. And so Joshua, in verse 10, ordered the officers of the people, go through the camp and tell the people, get your provisions ready. These days, 3 days from now, we will cross the Jordan here to go and take possession of the land the Lord your God is giving you for your own. We're going to dive into that deeply, but the response of all those that were told was, we will follow you as you follow God. The response with those was, we will obey God. Okay. I already love Joshua, don't you? Be strong and courageous. Meditate on his word and on his law. Put it on your lips. Consecrate yourselves. Prepare your hearts. But let's bring it forward then. What do we do with Joshua? If there's a temptation of looking through the binoculars and pointing to others, well, that's why they're going to die in the desert. And I'm ready to go to the promised land. No. It is a little bit of the faith of Joshua that I would love for us to take a hold of. Too often the mountains that we face, whether as a church it's finances, whether as a family it's the burden of sin and loss, whether it's the struggles that we walk into, sometimes we can feel like those that are in the desert, wanting to go back to Egypt, when God has something better for us on the other side. In the same way, we are reminded by the teachings of Jesus that even a little bit of faith can change the story. that faith in Jesus, that faith in God provides the ability to move mountains. I'm giving away the whole series because faith in Jesus is enough to tear down walls. Faith in Jesus is enough to restore a people. The grace of God is big enough to forgive whatever trespasses, whatever mountains, whatever hurdles, whatever brokenness exists in our lives. We are not a people that have lived in the desert, but we have experienced the grace of Jesus Christ. We are a people that have known sin and brokenness. We are a people who have seen the hurt in this world, and we've wondered, where are you, God? Should not every seat be full? Should not every knee be bowing? Should not the Lord be coming back today? But yet, what we learn from Joshua and the people of God in this book is obedience and trust, not in a leadership, not in Moses, not in Joshua that would follow, but in the God who parted the Red Sea. In the God who will back up the Jordan and allow them to cross on dry land. And I'm just giving it all away. And the God who will do so enough that the first enemies they would face on the other side go, we give up because your God is big. On the God who scares the daylights out of the people of Jericho. On the God who will take Rahab, a prostitute, and give her enough faith to help the people of God. And she begins to be a part of the story of the people of God. On the God who was crucified, dead and buried. But death, not even that boundary could hold him. That he was raised from the dead. And he promises resurrection. Not just at the end of our life, but today. That you may experience life and life to the fullest. That we can say we have been crucified with Christ, and I no longer live, but Christ lives in me. The life I live in the body, I live through the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Live in the life of Jesus. So when we studied the story of Joshua, when we talk about Jesus as our superhero, when we talk about the faith that it took to get to this point, the question is, will we have enough courage and faith? Will we be strong? Will we consecrate our hearts to take our eyes off of the mountains, the walls, the death, the brokenness of our life, and focus them on the God who overcomes? And with a little bit of faith, walls will fall, rivers will part, mountains will move, and death will be defeated. I also love the story of Joshua from a leadership perspective because Joshua has no clue of the plan until God tells him. He simply is faithful. When God tells him to move, he moves. And when the people of God are told to move, they move. And all that is required of Joshua and the people of God is faith. So here's my prayer today. And I know I say this because I don't always know the inner workings of your mind. I don't know your struggles. For many of you, you have some things that are hidden inside. Some hurts, some wounds, some brokenness, some fights that you're fighting. And nobody in this world, maybe not even your spouse or your kids, know. For some, it's obvious that there's loss and grief and hurt. And you're working to overcome those and trust God in the midst of that. For others, things didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. I don't know where you are internally, and I have no way of knowing until you tell me. But what I do know is that I am tired of living in the desert. God has promises for you and for me, and they're just out there. And I hear God saying, not only to me, but to you, be strong and courageous, because you will lead these people. Because you will cross the Jordan. Because the only thing that really hinders you is a lack of faith. Will you trust me to part the waters? Will you trust me to tear down the walls? Will you trust me with the ones that are hurting and broken? Those that mar your pain, that carry your pain, that you pray for day in and day out. Will you trust my Spirit to speak to them? And will you obey when I call? This, perhaps, is the entire sermon series on Joshua. But I don't think it is. It is the first taste. And so, as a people, consecrate your hearts. Be courageous. I will be with you. I will never leave you, nor forsake you. This is the word of the Lord. Would you pray with me? God, this morning, we are all hurting in different ways. And there is a situation that is huge and broken. And it's easy to lose faith when we continue to lose those that we love. It's easy to lose faith when it seems like we're treading water in the same place. God, it's easy to lose faith when those that we love and want to see restored continue to choose other than you. God, it's easy to lose faith when it's 105 in a desert outside. And we just want to go back to bed and lay down. But God, I pray that you teach us to trust in you as you did the people of God in the desert. That we would not only watch you knock down walls, but we'd learn to trust you with our daily. Not just with the future promises, but today. And God, prepare our hearts. Consecrate us. Make us holy so that we might be the people of God here in Muskogee. May we trust and obey. We give you all the praise and all the glory. And now I pray. Would you stand with me for a benediction this morning? He will never leave you, nor forsake you. Be strong and be courageous. Be strong and very courageous, and be careful to obey the law of the servant Moses. Meditate on it day and night. And as you leave this place, go knowing that God goes with you.